Hey, good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update. And remember, I asked you to share. This would be a great time to hit the share button on this because we're going to go over some fairly nasty winter weather. Yes, it is early January, but we've got a burst of heavy snow along with 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. So things will start to get nasty on the western third of the state. And that's what I'll be going into. Hey, but first, good morning to folks. Ed Freishock? Hopefully I got that one. That's a tongue twister like Torregrossa. And Chuck Gabriel, thanks for watching. Good morning, Blanchard and Frank Sturm and Emily Archer. Thanks for watching. And Mike Jaskowitz, good morning to you. All right, so here we go. And first off, the winter storm warnings. Winter storm watches and advisories. So the pink has a winter storm warning. I have a post up on this now if you want to read more about it on MLive. And that is that the pink areas, the winter storm warning in the lower peninsula from Big Rapids, Ludington, southward through Grand Rapids goes into effect at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning and goes through 7 a.m. on Thursday. So that's the first point that I want to give you, is that the severe winter weather doesn't start until we get into tonight. Hey, good morning, City of Troy and Lisa. Allendale, good morning to you, Crystal Nowak. Then winter storm watch in effect for Traverse City, Cadillac, Benzie and Manistee and Leelanau counties. That's in effect for tonight, just because that's a different weather office and they're a little bit more uncertain about the exact snow totals. And I'll show you why as we go north, you're a little bit more uncertain. And then surrounding that winter weather advisory for still nasty weather, but officially lighter snow. All right, so we start off with our favorite. We start off with the European model, and this will give you a good feel for what's going on. Okay, so we're going to start off today, and this is this afternoon, a southwesterly wind, a nice day with some sunshine too. Good travel. If you can decide between traveling today, tomorrow, or Thursday, today is definitely your day. Now, this is overnight tonight. This is tomorrow morning. So the action just getting going in northern lower Michigan, southwest corner tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. And then by early afternoon, the winds are out of the west. They're strong, the colder air, the lake effect has developed. And east side of the state, remember, I got to talk to my friends and fellow cohorts on the east side of the state. The east side of the state, you get very little snow out of this. You get wind, you get a burst of snow here and there, drier snow, probably not accumulating on the roads much. So it's a different scenario for east versus west. West is quite wintry and quite dangerous. Someone wants to know, are we going to get this in Jackson? Jackson, you're right on the edge, and I'll show you that to you, probably an inch or two and the wind. So I wouldn't say no. Hey, Linda Beaton, Mayor of Manistee, checking in. You're about ready to get a good white coating of snow, so get the snowmobiles and all the fun stuff ready, and be careful on the roads. All right, let me get back to this now. Okay, so we're into tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a snowy, windy day across all of Michigan except the southeast quarter from Flint to Lansing, south and east. See that little slack in the isobars in northern lower Michigan? That stimulates snow, but it cuts lake effect, and that's why it's a little iffy on the totals in the north. Will this affect Detroit Metro Airport? Wendy, Winnie? Not really, other than some bursts of snow. They should be able to handle this. If you have any problems because of winter weather there, you know that they're not really great at Detroit Metro. And we go into Thursday morning, and still the lake effect continues to go, and it settles in the southwest corner. And although the winter storm warning goes to 7 a.m. Thursday, they may extend that in the southwest corner. All right, here's the radar forecast, and it'll give you a good feel of how our weather's going to change pretty dramatically. This is through the day today. Again, safe travels most all of Michigan, except UP late in the evening. Now we're into overnight tonight. Now we're to 4 and 5 a.m. tomorrow. That's when the snow starts across the northwest two-thirds of lower Michigan and starts to come towards Saginaw and Bay City and flurry form toward Flint and Ann Arbor. 6 tomorrow morning. This is 7. So yeah, if you're traveling tomorrow morning, you are looking at some snowy conditions on the west side of the state and wind-driven conditions. The darker blue being the heaviest. And look at what happens 9, 10, 11, noon, just all through the day tomorrow. It's just plain a snowy day. And then it starts to take on the shape of the lake effect signature by tomorrow evening. So the snow backs out of the center part of the state, out of Mount Pleasant and out of over toward Tawas and Standish, and starts to diminish in the Saginaw Bay City Midland area. But it continues to just hit hard the western side of the state, and eventually by Wednesday night starts to lift back and just kind of meanders around, but still going. You know, we end this Thursday afternoon, so there could be some parts southwest of the Grand Rapids area that have snow from tonight right on through all of Thursday, and that would extend the winter storm warning. All right, this is what everybody wants to know: how much snow? Now, before I show this to you, I want to remind you, this is lake effect. So models do pretty good with the lake effect snow, but I don't think they give you the real picture, because what I'm going to show you is probably the lowest amounts you could get. And in lake effect, we always say in some spots, the heaviest spots that get it continuously, double that. So that's what we're going to do on this one. So I'm going to show you the model that I think is going to do the best here and gives us good indication. This is through midnight tonight. So, you know, there you go. That's my theory that today is a pretty safe travel day. Let's go to 7, 8 tomorrow morning. Now, that's not a lot of snow, but notice that a lot of it piles up between 6 and 8. So Manistee, Ludington, north of Grand Rapids, you're into the heavy snow tomorrow morning at drive time, and it's sneaking into Grand Rapids as we go through the morning hours. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, and we'll just bring it out to Thursday, midday, there you see it. So you see a 6 and you see an 8 and a 7 around Manistee, Ludington, Pentwater, Muskegon, west of Grand Rapids. At least 6 inches there. Those are the spots that could have up to 10 inches by the time noon Thursday rolls around. Grand Rapids, you're flirting with the 6, so I would call it at least 3 to possibly as much as 6 in Grand Rapids. And on the east side of Grand Rapids, you're going to have less than on the west and southwest side. Hey, good morning, St. Joseph and Mark Tyrakowski. I gave that a pretty good shot, didn't I? Frankfurt, you're probably going to have 3 or 4 inches, but you're in that slack area where it's still a little bit uncertain, okay? Terry Calkins, take away 3 and it will be close. I doubt it. This is a pretty good setup. Depends on where you're at, and that's the problem with lake effect, is it depends on where you're at. And Terry Calkins, I don't know where you're at. If you tell me exactly where you are, I'll give you an exact number. But many people look at this map and kind of misinterpret it. Will Bay City be affected by the storm? There you see it, total snowfall, Bay City, 1 inch, maybe 2. And it'll have the wind. So there you go. And of course, the UP gets hammered by it. Now, winds, when do those kick up? And this is the second part of the storm. Hey, good morning, City of Troy government. Thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping everybody safe and staying ahead of the storm, ahead of the situation, I'm going to say. All right, I got Tyrakowski's last name right. Now you try Torre Grossa. How's that sound? So this is tomorrow morning. Wind gusts 30 mile an hour plus along that southwest shoreline. Notice the slack wind area, northern lower Michigan. That's in that, what does old-time meteorologists call the bagginess of the trough. It's just not a real wind. It's the center of the storm, essentially, and the wind is circulating around it. It's just like if you were sitting under a ceiling fan right underneath the hub, you might not get a lot of breeze, but if you move out 3 or 4 feet, you get the breeze out of the ceiling fan. Okay, so here's Wednesday afternoon, and the 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts are into Grand Rapids. They're into Jackson, Lansing, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek. The 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts are on the shoreline. I would anticipate the possibility of a 6 to 12-hour blizzard warning along the southwest shoreline where those 40-mile-an-hour gusts are. This is tomorrow evening, and we're looking at 35 to 45-mile-an-hour gusts, southern half of the state. Still that slack wind, Petoskey, Charlevoix, Antrim County. So you may escape the worst part of this. You more than likely will. This is overnight, Wednesday night, still winds going, and then Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, the winds start to die down. One last thing I got to mention is we are getting back into it. How much for fruit port? I would say you're looking at 4 to 9 inches around the fruit port area. Mimi Noonan, do I think there'll be power outages? This is a drier snow, so really it's not your stuff that's going to stick on a power line. There goes Terry Calkins, the naysayer. Yeah, last storm was totally nailed. And you know what, Terry, if you don't believe the weather forecasts, what I would suggest is go on your own and try to figure it out yourself. You sound like you would be perfect at it and never wrong. All right, so here we go. High temperatures today, not too bad, in the low 30s. And then we're looking at 30s again tomorrow, but that's early. The colder air moves in. These are high temperature forecasts, remember, that I'm showing you. And this is Thursday. Highs in the low 20s in the south, teens and single digits in the north. So yes, it's going to feel like January, believe it or not. Friday, chilly too, cold with highs in the teens and 20s. Highs. Saturday, we jump back up, upper 30s. And Sunday, upper 30s in the south. And then the next blast of cold air. And this is typically what we see in January. 3 or 4 successive cold blasts, and each one a little bit colder. And it usually bottoms out about early February. Let's see. How much snow for Midland, Angie? Just 1, maybe 2 inches. Wind driven too. So, you're looking at it might still be blown off the roadways with the light fluffy snow. This is Monday tomorrow. Monday of next week. Highs in the single digits and lower teens, and then back to 20 degrees, and then back into the 30s, and then the low 30s. So maybe that's going to be a temperature theme, so to speak, for January, in that it does look like we're going to have some cold, but right now the first couple of weeks doesn't look like the cold will settle in and last for a long time. It'll be 2 and 3 day shots. Hey, good morning, Jeffrey Jones from Toledo. Thanks for joining us from Ohio. So there you have it. Remember to please share this. We got 572 of us on here. Do you think schools will close, Tisha Leanne? I have a hard time predicting the weather, as of course we heard from Terry Calkins. But so it's even harder for me to predict what schools will do. Do I think it will be a very dangerous travel condition tomorrow in the southwest quarter of the state and up through Manistee toward the Traverse City area? Yes. All right, let's take some questions here. Let's go back to the snowfall map for you. And go into this. All right, someone's asking about Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo, I think you're in it. I think by noon Thursday, you're probably looking at 4 to 8 inches of snow. Holland fluffy snow, not wet heart attack snow. That is correct. This will be a colder snow. It will also blow around. I'm going to try to give you a Torre Grossa drifting index on this, but I will say southwest part of the state, it's going to drift a lot. And good morning, Carmelita Tiffany. Yes, everybody be safe. All right, so that's about it. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Corey Coughlin. Remember, I developed the Torre Grossa Drifting Index. I realized that nobody has ever quantified drifting, which is a big factor in winter weather. So I made an index that incorporates amount of snow, temperature during the snows, i.e. the fluffiness or the wetness and driftability of it, if that's a word, and the wind gusts and the duration, and put that all together to try to quantify who will have the worst drifting. Snow for Ionia, probably 3 to 6 inches, maybe. All right, everybody, take care. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. We'll have more as the snow and the wind hit the west side of the state. Take care.